Supervolcanoes are the ultimate wildcards of nature. Unlike regular volcanoes, they don't just erupt, they explode with earth-shattering force, covering continents in ash, blocking out the sun, and altering life on Earth. Some of these ancient giants nearly wiped out humanity, while others created entire landscapes we see today. Could they erupt again? Let's dive into the 10 most powerful supervolcanoes that changed the world forever. Yellowstone. Deep beneath Yellowstone National Park, a colossal supervolcano is waiting. The last time it erupted, 640,000 years ago, it blanketed North America in volcanic ash, sending the planet into a deep freeze. Scientists estimate that if Yellowstone erupts today, millions of people would be displaced, the US food supply would collapse, and global temperatures could drop for years. The ground beneath Yellowstone rises and falls as magma moves below, showing that the volcano is still active. While experts say it's unlikely to erupt soon, if it does, it could change life as we know it. With each tremor and geyser explosion, people wonder, is Yellowstone giving us a warning? But America isn't the only place with a deadly supervolcano. Indonesia's Toba eruption nearly wiped us out once before. Could it happen again? The Toba catastrophe. 74,000 years ago, Indonesia's Mount Toba erupted with such force that it triggered a global volcanic winter, lasting nearly a decade. The eruption blocked the sun, froze crops, and made survival nearly impossible. Some scientists believe Toba reduced the human population to just a few thousand people, making it one of the most catastrophic events in history. The aftermath was brutal. With the planet covered in darkness, food sources collapsed, and early humans had to fight to stay alive. Had the eruption been even slightly stronger, we might not even exist today. The scary part? Toba is still active. While another super eruption is unlikely in our lifetime, magma is still moving beneath the surface. If Toba were to erupt again, it could send shockwaves through the global climate, economy, and human civilization. And Toba wasn't the only one. Another supervolcano in Colorado once caused one of the largest eruptions ever. La Garita, Yellowstone, and Toba may be terrifying, but neither comes close to La Garita. 28 million years ago, this supervolcano in present-day Colorado erupted, spewing 5,000 cubic kilometers of magma, more than twice the amount released by Toba. This was the largest volcanic eruption in Earth's history, leaving behind the La Garita caldera, a massive crater spanning hundreds of miles. If you were anywhere near La Garita when it erupted, you wouldn't have survived. The explosion instantly wiped out everything in its path, reshaping the land and poisoning the air with deadly gases. It was the closest thing to an apocalypse before humans ever walked the Earth. Thankfully, La Garita is extinct, meaning it won't erupt again. But not all supervolcanoes are done with us yet. Some, like Campi Flegrei, are still showing signs of life. Campi Flegrei, Italy's Campi Flegrei, is no ordinary volcano. It's a sleeping beast lurking beneath Naples. When it last erupted 39,000 years ago, it unleashed a cloud of toxic gas and ash so vast that some scientists believe it played a role in wiping out the Neanderthals. Unlike a traditional volcano with a towering peak, Campi Flegrei is a sprawling volcanic field, with a massive caldera covering over 150 square miles. The ground here is constantly rising and falling, showing that magma is moving beneath the surface. Scientists have noticed an increase in activity, sparking fears that Europe's deadliest volcano might be waking up. If Campi Flegrei erupts today, the entire city of Naples, home to millions of people, would be in immediate danger. Ash clouds could spread across Europe, affecting agriculture, air travel, and global climate. Could this be the next Toba-level disaster? But Europe isn't alone. New Zealand's Lake Taupo is another supervolcano capable of world-changing destruction. Taupo. 26,500 years ago, the Taupo supervolcano, located beneath New Zealand's Lake Taupo, erupted in one of the most explosive events of the last 70,000 years. It ejected enough ash and magma to cover entire countries, with traces of its destruction found as far away as Antarctica. This eruption reshaped New Zealand's landscape, creating the lake we see today. But here's the worrying part. Taupo is still active. Scientists monitor the lake closely as it continues to show seismic activity. While a major eruption isn't expected soon, if it did happen, New Zealand, and much of the southern hemisphere, could be in serious trouble. Now, let's move on to a volcano that erupted for 1 million years. The Siberian Traps. 252 million years ago, something unimaginably catastrophic happened. A series of supervolcanic eruptions in what is now Russia didn't last for weeks or months. They continued for nearly 1 million years. The result? The Great Dying, the largest mass extinction in Earth's history. The Siberian Traps spewed trillions of tons of lava, carbon dioxide, and methane, heating the planet, poisoning the oceans, and killing 90% of all marine life and 70% of land animals. Scientists believe this was the closest Earth has ever come to becoming a dead planet. If a similar eruption happened today, it could make climate change look like a minor problem. Could we survive a volcanic event of this magnitude? While the Siberian Traps are extinct, other volcanoes, like Long Valley Caldera in California, are still active and dangerous. Long Valley Caldera. Everyone worries about earthquakes in California, but few realize there's an active supervolcano beneath their feet. Long Valley Caldera, located in eastern California, erupted 760,000 years ago, covering huge parts of North America in volcanic ash. Today, Long Valley is still showing signs of activity. The ground is rising, indicating that magma is moving beneath the surface. If it were to erupt again, it could blanket cities in ashfall, disrupt air travel, and trigger a climate shift. What makes Long Valley so dangerous is that it doesn't get as much attention as Yellowstone or Toba. However, scientists believe that ignoring it could be a big mistake. Could California be home to one of the next big eruptions? Before we answer that, let's take a look at Krakatoa, the volcano that literally shook the world. Krakatoa. Even though Krakatoa isn't classified as a supervolcano, its 1883 eruption was so powerful that it was heard over 3,000 miles away. The explosion created a 50-foot tsunami that wiped out over 36,000 people in a matter of hours. The force of the eruption was 4 times more powerful than the largest nuclear bomb ever detonated. Ash from Krakatoa blocked out the sun, causing global temperatures to drop for months. Some reports claim the skies turned red and the world was plunged into twilight. Krakatoa's child, Anak Krakatoa, is still growing and active today. In 2018, a sudden eruption from this new volcano caused another deadly tsunami. If another major explosion happens, millions of people in Indonesia and surrounding areas could be at risk. But Indonesia isn't the only place with a supervolcano threatening millions of lives. Japan has one too. The Aira caldera. Most people think of Mount Fuji when they hear Japanese volcano, but the real danger is hidden beneath Kagoshima Bay, the Aira caldera. This supervolcano last erupted 22,000 years ago, and it has remained one of Japan's most active volcanic systems. In recent years, the nearby Sakurajima volcano, which sits right inside the caldera, has erupted hundreds of times per year. Scientists believe this could be a sign of something bigger brewing underneath. If the Aira caldera erupts, the entire Kyushu region could be devastated. A massive ash cloud would cripple Japan's economy, impact agriculture, and disrupt air travel across the Pacific. Given that Japan is already vulnerable to earthquakes and tsunamis, an eruption from Aira could be the worst disaster the country has ever faced. And speaking of volcanoes, let's not forget the one with one of the most massive eruptions in history. The Wawa Springs eruption. When people think of supervolcanoes in the United States, Yellowstone is the first that comes to mind, but hidden in Utah, the Wawa Springs caldera produced one of the most massive volcanic eruptions in history. And almost no one talks about it. 30 million years ago, this mega eruption released over 5,000 cubic kilometers of magma, dwarfing Yellowstone's past eruptions. The sheer volume of material ejected reshaped the entire western United States, burying vast regions in volcanic ash and leaving behind a gigantic caldera that stretches across hundreds of miles. Unlike Yellowstone, Wawa Springs is long extinct, meaning it won't erupt again. But its discovery rewrote the history of North American supervolcanoes, proving that some of the most powerful eruptions ever recorded happened right beneath our feet. So, with all these ticking time bombs around the world, the real question is, are we ready for the next super eruption? Supervolcanoes have shaped the world in ways we can barely comprehend, from wiping out species to altering the climate. They are nature's ultimate reset button, silent for centuries, then erupting with unimaginable force. Could another super eruption happen in our lifetime? And if it does, will humanity be ready? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.